The past couple of years in particular, Washington has taken its eye off the ball. An endless parade of distractions and political posturing and phony scandals.
It was a commitment with your tax dollars that ended up with the worst kind of return. $535 million for a California solar energy startup, Solyndra, by the Obama administration. New emails showed the California company got its $535 million loan despite deep misgivings inside the government, warning accurately Solyndra runs out of cash in September 2011.
The biggest investor in Solyndra is Oklahoma billionaire George Kaiser, a major fundraiser for the Obama presidential campaign.
Which is why it's so important we invest in Solyndra.
Behind the scenes, senior White House staff were telling the budget office if there is any way to accelerate, would give a lot of peace of mind, flexibility on that front. We would prefer to have sufficient time to do our due diligence reviews and have the approval set the date for the announcement rather than the other way around.
The loan was approved, and in May 2010, the president visited Solyndra's factory, still under construction.
Solyndra expects to hire 1,000 workers to manufacture solar panels and sell them across America and around the world.
The company and the White House kept it secret, telling Congress and the workers everything was going great until the day it shut its doors. The company filed for bankruptcy on September 6, 2011. The FBI is investigating, and now questions about who knew what and when they knew it have put the White House under fire.
But sometimes the news that's coming off is just, these are just Washington fights. They're fabricated issues, they're phony scandals that are generated.
It appears that Attorney General Eric Holder knew a lot more about it than he recently told Congress.
I'm not sure of the exact date, but I probably heard about Fast and Furious for the first time over the last few weeks.
Yet internal Justice Department documents show that at least 10 months before that hearing, Holder began receiving frequent memos discussing Fast and Furious.
Well, these emails and memos specifically mention Fast and Furious.
They mention Fast and Furious, but do they mention gun walking in Fast
Yes,
and Furious?
they do.
No,
That's my point.
I'd like to see those. I would like to see.
We got them from you. So, I mean, we got them from Main Justice.
Let's do this. I've promised to give you all some information. I would really like to see a memo that says gun walking and Fast and Furious. I'd like to see that.
And a contempt report is ordered.
The contempt vote against Holder went forward despite a last-minute attempt by the White House to prevent it by invoking executive privilege to shield the Justice Department documents at the heart of this dispute. Attorney General Holder has said it was an honest mistake. Democrats called ICE's move today an election year witch hunt. Sensitive information, Holder said he would not give up unless the committee commits to an end of the investigation.
A full House vote on criminal contempt charges has been scheduled.
You don't want to go there, okay?
And if it passes, the matter would then be handed over to the local U.S. attorney. He's unlikely to move to prosecute his own boss, Eric Holder, so that's likely about as far as this will go.
There are almost 100 shovel-ready transportation projects already approved in Colorado, which are beginning to create jobs.
Shovels are breaking ground and cranes dot the sky.
Shovels will soon be moving earth.
Are shovel-ready. Shovel-ready projects. Shovel-ready projects. We are seeing shovels hit the ground.
Shovel-ready was not as shovel-ready as we expected.
With this endless parade of distractions and political posturing and phony scandals.
The phony scandals, pretend scandals, some phony scandals, fake scandals.
And I'm here to say this needs to stop.
The murder of 4 Americans, including the U.S. ambassador, in Benghazi, Libya on Tuesday, and the wave of anti-American protests and violence now sweeping the globe. For more on what happened and why, let's bring in the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Dr. Susan Rice.
There was a hateful video. Spontaneous protest, spontaneous, not a premeditated, began outside of our consulate in Benghazi in reaction to this very offensive video. It had nothing to do with the United States government or U.S. policy. It's approximately a reaction to this video.
This has been a difficult week for our country. We've seen the heavy assault on our post in Benghazi that took the lives of those brave men. We've seen rage and violence directed at American embassies over an awful internet video.
It is in response not to United States policy, not to, obviously, the administration, not to the American people. It is in response to a video.
It was a crude and disgusting video, sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world.
People have accused Ambassador Rice and the administration of, misleading Americans. Nothing could be further from the truth. The reason I said make it open, tell the world, is because I believe in transparency. I believe in taking responsibility. The fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make? The IC has a process, I understand, going with the other committees to explain how these talking points came out. But
you add a line about the administration warning of September 10th of social media reports calling for demonstrations. True?
I believe so.
Did you also change attacks to demonstrations in the talking points?
Maybe. I don't really remember.
You don't remember?
Dude, this was like 2 years ago. We're still talking about the most mundane process.
But I would suggest, when we're talking about trust, we need to look no further than the person that Mitt Romney. He's refused to release his tax returns, as we know. The word's out that he hasn't paid any taxes for 10 years. Let him prove that he has paid taxes, because he hasn't.
So no regrets about Mitt Romney, about the Koch brothers. Some people have even called it McCarthyite.
Well, they call it whatever they want. Romney didn't win, did he?
Unfortunately, for the last year or so, we've had an endless parade of distractions and political posturing and phony scandals that...
Well, let me take the I.R.S. situation first. I first learned about it from the same news reports that I think most people learned about this.
I have not done anything wrong. I have not broken any laws. I have not violated any I.R.S. rules or regulations, and I have not provided false information to this or any other congressional committee. Because I'm asserting my right not to testify, I know that some people will assume that I've done something wrong. One of the basic functions of the Fifth Amendment is to protect innocent individuals, and that is the protection I'm invoking today. Thank you.
We have enough evidence of her wrongdoing that we want to review every email that she has sent or received. That's reasonable to do when you have someone who takes the Fifth.
If, in fact, I.R.S. personnel engaged in the kind of practices that have been reported on and were intentionally targeting conservative groups, then that's outrageous.
You did receive this subpoena, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any doubt as to what that means?
What any of them mean, as noted, some of them mean that you're going to take months or years to get the information, and it's going to be voluminous.
Why?
There's no doubt about it.
Commissioner, what email system do you use there at the I.R.S.?
I have Microsoft Office.
So how long would it take to find all the emails that included her email address? Let's learn.
It would take a while. We'd have
how long?
Well, there are millions of emails.
Minutes?
A million minutes. I don't know, but I don't think it's minutes.
The IRS has turned over some, but on Friday, in a letter to Congress, the IRS said it had determined that Ms. Lerner's computer crashed in 2011 and that any of Ms. Lerner's email that was only stored on that computer's hard drive would have been lost.
Unfortunately, after receiving assistance from several highly skilled technicians, including HP experts, he still cannot recover the data.
Do you believe in the Easter Bunny? Do you believe in Santa Claus? Do you believe that Lois Lerner's emails just suddenly went poof?
The idea that we can recover the last 17 or 18 seconds from Challenger exploding above our atmosphere, falling to the sea, and being left under the sea for a year, that we could recover the voice from that, makes people wonder why not one piece of data could be recovered.
After it was determined that it was dysfunctional and that with experts no emails could be retrieved, was recycled and destroyed in the normal process. This was.
The IG is conducting its investigation, and I am not going to comment on their specific findings prematurely.
Some people are saying is that the IRS was used at a local level in Cincinnati, maybe other places, to go after.
Absolutely wrong.
But how do you know that? Because we still don't know what happened.
Bill, we do. That's not what happened. These kinds of things keep on surfacing, in part because you and your TV station will promote them.
We're talking about the way they singled out conservative groups, and ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl is tracking the fast-moving developments tonight.
A just-released investigative report by the IRS's own watchdog says that more than half of the conservative groups targeted were asked for irrelevant and unnecessary information, all part of an effort to single out Tea Party organizations that were applying for tax-exempt status for extra scrutiny.
No corruption.
No.
None.
No, there were some boneheaded decisions. Out of a
but no
local
mass
office.
corruption.
Not even mass corruption. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
But ABC News has obtained documents showing other IRS offices around the country were involved, including 2 in California and the headquarters in Washington, D.C.
This is something that I think people are properly concerned about, and people have to be held accountable, and it's got to be fixed. So we'll wait and see.
Only until 2 weeks ago did we find out that probably the tapes that we are actually looking for, we were never told about.
You're going to take months or years to get the information.
How long did it actually take you to find them?
Literally about 2 weeks.
No emails could be retrieved.
The 744 tapes that we initially obtained on July 1st were in the backup system of the IRS, right where you would expect them to be.
With regard to the production of the evidence, the production of Lois Lerner emails, I have seen no evidence of
Anybody
wrongdoing.
ever asked them for the tapes?
No.
I have a long career. That's the first time anybody has said that they do not believe me. I don't believe you. That's fine.
There is potential criminal activity.
I don't think an apology is owed.